What's up, Internet? Brandon here.
With Jimmy.
And I think this is the first time we talked some trash on the trailer, and now we're actually leaving a review for it. But a few weeks ago,
Your guys are holding us accountable. This is weird.
Yeah, that's crazy. Sorry. We'll try to be better about it. A couple weeks ago, we did a trailer trash talk for the new movie coming straight to Hulu, Reliance, starring Jake Johnson, directed by Jake Johnson,
written by Jake Johnson,
and produced by Lonely Island, essentially. But Reliance on Hulu.
Let me just start by saying, if Andy Samberg pulls up in a limo, do not get in.
Get in. There's so many elements about this movie that made me like the trailer. You're kind of like, why does he seem like apprehensive to this? And you realize that he is just a celebrity being paid by the group that is setting up the plot of the movie. And he is like, man, you can tell it's like, I got offered a ton of money, but this is like the weirdest, shadiest thing I've ever had to do.
And he's literally like, well, if you say yes, I get paid more, but are you sure?
And he's like, God, why do you keep saying yes to that? Because he shows up a few times throughout the movie. And each time he's like, why do you keep saying yes? Like, stop saying yes.
Okay, I get paid more if you say it.
Let's do it. Really? And he goes, really?
And then he meets the Finnish. Is that what they are? I can't remember. They're Scandinavian for sure.
Yeah, let's just go with that.
And at that point, so Andy Samberg was weird, and I probably would have been like, yeah, I'll get in because you're Andy Samberg. But then when I meet the Scandinavians, I would have been like, no, bro.
But this movie jumps right into it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, there's a quick setup to show that, like, he's living a very mundane, same shit every day kind of existence.
Literally just plodding through life.
Yeah, and Andy Samberg pulls up, tells him to get in the limo, and basically, the plot is this: he is on the most popular dark web television show where for 30 days, it was 30 days, right? 30 days, someone is coming to try to murder you, and if you make it to 30 days, you get $1 million. But the catch is they can only kill you when you are completely alone, not when anyone else is.
And I don't believe we learned about the dark web right away. We just learned about the contract.
No, I think they say that at the beginning.
Did they? Okay,
yeah.
Because I felt like when the ninjas were coming up, that's when he started to.
Well, he started talking about it, but they tell him this is the most famous show on the dark web.
Okay.
We're going to give you $1 million. And it's funny because watching the movie, when they deliver the plot, to Jake Johnson, he's like, I just have to be with someone for 30 days and I get $1 million. It's the easiest thing I've ever done. And watching it, you're like, yeah, that sounds so simple. Yeah. How do you get past this? And then he goes home and he tells his family that a limo pulled up and Andy Samberg brought him to this warehouse, and these Scandinavian people have offered him $1 million to be on a dark web TV show, and all he has to do is not be alone. And his family is like, are you okay? Like, what is going on? And then I'm sitting there thinking the same thought he has. Oh, shit. Like, it's not going to be that easy because my loved ones would probably greet me with the same confusion.
Well, and I don't remember the exact events, but they started almost like Goonies with Chunk when he called the cops.
Yeah.
They started bringing up things that he had done in the past where they're like, oh, like this one time where you saw like aliens, and they're like,
shit.
Oh, damn it. Like, nobody's going to believe me.
Well, and then he genuinely has this panic of like, oh, shit.
I already agreed.
I need somebody with me or whatever. I already agreed. And then they do this montage of him like starting the week with a ton of anxiety.
Well, this is one thing I couldn't figure out. He calls him brother. Is it brother-in-law?
Brother-in-law.
Okay.
Because I believe the mom and the sisters are his family.
Yes.
And that guy's his brother.
That's what I kind of thought, but they kept saying brother. But he spends the first night with him.
Yes.
And hilarity
ensues.
Well,
the first night he gets like afraid that he's not going to be on his own.
Yeah. So he's sitting on the couch with his brother-in-law watching TV, and like, so I guess it's time to go to bed.
And he's like,
and there's this weird,
I'm going to bed with you.
Yeah, we're like going to bed together. He's like, no, yeah.
And then it just cuts, and he's like, shut up, man, just shut up, and go to sleep. And then my favorite is he wakes up and hears a noise, and he's by himself,
all by himself,
dude. You hear like a shot outside or something, or come through the window, and he's like, "Oh shit! Like this guy's trying to murder me. Where are you?" And the guy's just taking a shit.
And he's like, "Why didn't you get me up?"
And he's like, "Cause I'm taking a shit."
So he immediately kicks him out.
But I do like that scene where he's like, "I'm sorry." He's like, "Hey man, we're brothers. We're cool, but like, you got to leave for the night. You did too much."
So he's standing outside the door. He's like, just stay there. Don't. And then he sees
A homeless
Biff
man.
Whiff. I can't remember what the character's name is in the movie.
Dude, I love him from I Think You Should Leave.
Yeah.
And he does such a good job in it. And you know what I like about it is like they kind of form like a genuine bond like through this, just them hanging out and being friends. And
it's cute. Like, because then he goes back to his family and he's like telling him he's outside in the back and you see him in the background, like, I don't know what he was doing. And he's like, well, do you want to stay with me? No. Do you want? No, I don't want to take his job away.
Yeah, I don't want to take his job away. And he's like, fine, I'll continue to pay him or whatever. And then he gets fired from his job because he's bringing him in to work with him. And it was, I don't know. I thought it was really
so
good.
ridiculous, but it's what I think you would really do if somehow you found yourself in this dark web. But then it's funny because we then have Anna Kendrick because he reaches out.
I love Anna Kendrick.
I do too.
Anna Kendrick reaches out to him.
Yes.
Because he posts like a cryptic thing. And that was a twist.
It was a nice twist. And to be honest, when like Pitch Perfect and all that came out, I wasn't the biggest Anna Kendrick fan. Like she was what she was. But then she was in a Star Wars video game commercial. And it was like,
dude, like,
and then I found out her nerdery and I'm like, oh.
Jim is so easy to like you would be the easiest person to brainwash.
Oh yeah.
You're like you ever see the Simpsons episode with the leader and all he has to do is sing the Batman theme song because that's home. Like if you just put Star Wars in front of something, Jimmy will join.
I'm down.
Anyways,
let's do this.
I thought that was a cool storyline with the movie. I thought that was a cool plot point.
She inadvertently or purposely makes him confront the things that made him in this mundane life.
Yeah.
Like we find out he had a girlfriend like years before. Like I thought it was like, oh, they just broke up.
Oh no, it is
clearly more than 9 months because she had a baby and like
she's a child.
Yeah. But he never confronted her, and that is something that comes that scene where he knocks on her door. You have Biff Whiff down on the.
Well, what's great is you don't see him for the first like 2
comes
minutes
around the corner,
and she goes, "See with you? yeah. I'm on this." Well, it's funny too because then he hits her with like, "I'm on a game show. I'm on the dark web, and if I don't have," and she's like, "All right, I was right to leave you, and I need to back out."
Hilarious.
But the thing I liked about it is it's kind of at that point in the movie that you realize like the whole idea of the movie is he ends up going through all this stuff, confronting all the problems that he's had to come out of the other side and be a better person. And what I thought was a cool point in that movie is as he's growing and learning, and you're seeing this, he's on camera the whole time. Yeah. So the audience is seeing this. So when the producers of the show that are what are the ninjas? What do they call? What's their role? They're not producers. They're the.
I just remember calling them ninjas. I don't remember.
But the network ninjas or whatever. They like start showing up and they're like, everyone really likes you, dude, and we're all rooting for you. And I thought that was cool because now they're like watching this dude change and get better. And
they're also giving him tips like, be careful, everything's not what you think, and that sort of thing. So it's like, what are you talking about?
At first you're like, what twist is that? And then when you find out the twist with Anna Kendrick, of the spoilers at this point, I guess. Yeah. She's like, I just thought it was a new dating thing people were doing. So I said I was on the show. And then they meet up with this third guy who is actually on the show. And she is like, yeah, this is not what I thought. I need to back out of this.
He described specific things which happened later.
Yeah.
Namely the sumo guy is what I remember. But even with that, it was a great setup because Anna Kendrick she's at the restaurant meeting Jake Johnson. And you're like, well, how are you here alone? It's like, I'm not. I've got my mom and mom.
Well, like she said, she thought it was this dating thing or whatever. And that's also why you see like the mom kind of being like,
yeah,
all right, it's weird, but I'm my daughter's, by herself and needs to meet somebody. So I'm going to humor this.
But when she finds out it's real, she
bails.
She bails
immediately.
And that's where we then reach this third act where Jake Johnson can't get with Biff Whiff because I can't remember exactly what happened, but it was something like he got a better offer to stay.
Well, no. They said it was getting boring and depressing.
Oh, that's what it was.
Because he starts hanging out with him in the homeless encampment, and they're like, "It's bumming us out, man. You're spiraling, and we were all rooting for you." And it's funny because he's like, "Where is he? Where's my friend?" It's like, "Oh, we put him in a hotel." He's actually like really stoked on this because he's just this homeless guy who's been getting taken care of all of a sudden. And I thought that was a cool little.
And they had some great conversations
they had really
in the homeless camp.
They did.
Trying to figure out what they were going to do, and he's going to totally take care of them. And
no, like I
awesome.
loved that relationship. I thought it was really good, and yeah, that was a solid movie.
And the twist at the end is just more Jake Johnson, because he did this for the money.
Yeah.
And at the end, he finds out he does get $1 million.
He gets $1 million.
Not kroners, but it's like Iceland, Greenland. I can't
Slavic
remember.
money.
Yeah.
And he gets it. What do you say? $4,000 a month for like.
Obviously, nobody's ever won before.
No,
because
no,
they don't
no,
know how to pay him out.
But it was cool at the end when he wins. Everyone comes in and was suddenly like, "We're actually really happy to see that you won this because we all really liked you."
And there was this. This is what I was very impressed with the first-time director. He has written stuff before, but a first-time director, when he gets into that same space where they made the deal in the beginning with the Scandinavians, and there's nobody there and nothing's going on, he's like, "I won," and he had just run from like the sumo dude.
Well,
and
now he's like, "Was it real?"
It's like what? And then they do. They come in and we're like, "Oh my god, are they going to kill him right there? That's not fair."
You think so?
Like, no, it's a celebration. Like,
but like it was just it was cool too, because I think like throughout the movie you can tell he kind of just like doesn't really think a lot about himself, and by the end, to find out that this whole group, including the people who originally were trying to kill you, were all rooting for you, it kind of gives him this like restored.
And then there's just amazing moments. Like, I just forgot, popped in my head. Christopher Lloyd's in this movie.
Oh, as the dad. What a good cameo that was.
That was so, like, I remember in the commercials, I'm like, oh yeah, oh god, I forgot he was in this.
Well, what was funny too is, it's like my dad just got up and left one day and we never heard from him again. And then these people on the black web were like, oh, we'll find him. Let's put him in a car. Here, you want to get over this? Here you go.
Am I making it up? Was he in Cleveland?
I don't know.
I thought he said he was in Cleveland, which is hilarious.
Oh, no, I think the dad went to Cleveland.
That's what I mean, because it made it perfect sense. Like, where are you going to go to just disappear?
And he's like, Cleveland. Yeah.
Of course, Cleveland.
But I thought that was good, too, because it was a moment he had it, but he was also like, we're not doing this right now. Okay? Like, I see you. I understand what's going on. I'm healing from that, but, like, I also don't want to do this for you because you just fucking left, and I wasn't ready for this. But I love how, like, he personally got past what he could get past with it. And then when they said something about dad, he's like, I saw him the other day. And I was like,
the intervention.
What? Yeah, he's like,
the intervention.
And he's like, yeah, Wayne Brady showed up in a limo and dad was there and he's been living in Cleveland. And they're just like, oh no, you've lost your mind.
But that's what was great, because right before the intervention, he got a text and he thought that like the dark web people were going after his family.
Yeah.
So he was running to go save his family and he loses Biff Whiff. And Ellen DeGeneres, not the real one.
Oh my God, that was so good too, because they're just getting all his information. Because his ex, and then I guess worked on the show.
No, they visited the set.
They visited the set, and she's just like, "I'm gonna be an assassin who dresses up like Ellen to appeal to like your."
And then one random neighbor across the street sees him, so she can't kill him. He's like, "Get in the car, get in the car!" Like Ellen DeGeneres
knocks out his tooth. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Biff Whiff finally catches up.
Because what happened to you? Ellen DeGeneres impersonator knocked out my tooth, and they're just like, he's losing his mind.
And that was the intervention. And it was just, his family is hilarious.
Everyone did really good in every role they were supposed to.
And what's great is, at the end, when he explains to the family and he's describing the $4,000 a month or whatever.
He's on the couch?
Who's sitting next to him?
Wayne Brady.
Wayne Brady. And he just turns to, want to go grab some lunch or something?
Yeah, because he's like, because he paid him to show up for that because he has the money now. And he's just like.
So it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy.
Yeah.
In my online review, I was like, it's like Death to Smoochie, that kind of
I love
dark.
Death to Smoochie.
I agree.
Watch that one.
But it's not for everybody.
No, it's not.
But it is hilarious. But it makes you think. There are a lot of moments where you're like, oh wow, he did this because he was alone. It wasn't the money, because he wasn't pissed off when he found out it was just Greenland, whatever they give. It was.
Oh no, he get $1 million in the conversion rate or whatever. Yeah. But he's just like, I just get.
But he found himself in this whole adventure, and it was a really touching movie.
That's what I liked about it, is the idea was so absurd. I wasn't really sure where it was going to go, but the fact that it turned into this kind of like story of this dude just realizing like the good he can be, I was like, that's a really good story.
I imagine him and Anna Kendrick got together.
In the end, yes, he knocks on her door. Everything ends happy and beautifully.
So don't get in the car if Andy Samberg is in a limo.
Unless you want $1 million.
In Greenland funny money.